after he resigned over the expenses controversy. The result is expected in the early hours, and our political correspondent Laura Kuenssberg joins us now from the count. Laura, how's it looking?
Thank you very much, George. Well, counting is just getting underway here in this by-election that was born out of controversy. So far, there's not much sign of a big upset here tonight in the vote that's been going on all day. As you say, the polls have just closed. And a voter said to me, if you put a donkey up for the Labour Party in this constituency, it would still probably win. Now, Labour is quietly confident that they will hold off their main challenger here, the Scottish National Party. But they are worried about two things. First, that just not that many people will have bothered to go out and cast their vote, and second, that the British National Party might do well here for the first time in a by-election in Scotland that will send an MP back to Westminster.
So Laura, Labour, as you said, quietly confident, but what do you think is at stake in this vote?
Well, George, this is one of Labour's most loyal seats. They have a majority here of more than 10,000, and it's been Labour for more than 70 years. So to lose here would be devastating for Gordon Brown. And even a significant swing away from the party would alarm Labour supporters, because, of course, this is probably the last by-election before the whole country gets a chance to cast their ballot at the general election next year. So this is an important junction where people will be looking for clues as to just how much of Labour's traditional support might be willing to desert them, might be willing to walk away. And of course, for Gordon Brown, if a lot of them desert him, and if here there's a big swing away from the Labour Party, that could mean that he's looking at a very, very, very difficult ride when it comes to the general election next year.
OK, Laura, thank you.
Good evening. Counting is getting underway in the Glasgow North East by-election. Polling stations closed within the last half hour. The question is, can Labour win the seat vacated by the former House of Commons Speaker Michael Martin, or can the Scottish National Party mount a strong challenge? Well, let's go to our reporter Caitriona Renton, who's at the count in Glasgow. Caitriona, the stage is clearly set there. What's the format for the rest of the evening?
Well, it's pretty tense here, Jackie, already. Now, as you've just been saying, the polls have closed. The first boxes of votes are really just literally arriving in the building as we're speaking, and they're starting to be counted. Now, key to this election is going to be turnout. Now, we all know it's been a pretty miserable day today to go to the polling station. We've heard from the council that they expect the turnout to be between 30 and 35%. Now, that's maybe better than expected, but if it's the case, that would be the lowest turnout ever in a Westminster by-election in Scotland. Now, if that's also the case, that means there'll be 17,500 votes to count. There are 13 candidates, so they'd each need 875 votes to save their deposit, and we can expect a result at about 12:30 tonight.
And with that turnout taken into consideration, what are the predictions?
Well, it's pretty much been a two-horse race between Labour and the SNP, but it's been a very long campaign. The Speaker, Michael Martin, stood down at the end of June, so this seat has been without a representative for 5 months. Now, this seat has traditionally been Labour for the past 74 years, so they're hoping for a really good showing here tonight. But earlier in the week, the SNP candidate David Kerr, he said he thought he was behind but was hoping to oust Labour in the last few days of the campaign. So it seems like it's still all to play for, and the way to find out the result, stay with us on the BBC.
Caitriona, thanks very much. You'll be able to see the result in a by-election special starting on BBC 2 Scotland at half an hour and continuing on BBC 1 Scotland at 11:45.